indil wér gu yaram musal la ci loraange amal nañ leen ko ci biir réew am nañ 10-inch filter set of 3 bii nag ñett lay àndal bu ci ne ak li muy liggéey bokk na ci 5 micron pp sediment filter bii nag mooy segg ndox mi ba mu set génne fa lépp li nga xamante ne nii warta ànd ak ndox moomu bala nga koy jëfandikoo gat granule carbon filter bii nag mooy segg génne lépp lu xeetoog chemical ak organique yi nga xamante ne ñoom ñoo nekk ci biir ndox mi sellal ndox mi ba waral mu soppi li nga xamante ne moom la ndox mi di saf mu soppi cafin gi def ko ndox mu sellate óor CTO block carbon filter bii nag du yem rek ci segg ndox mi sellal ko ba mu sell waaye nag daf koy yokk ay ngéneel yi nga xamante ne ni day baax ci wér gu yaramu doomu aadama bi dëgëral waaye tamit yàggal lool sa yuur wi am nañ tamit 12-inch filter set of 3 boobu it liggéey bu nu mel lay def ñetti filter yépp benn bu ne ak lu muy liggéey am nañ 10-inch post carbon 10-inch coconut carbon 75 GPD pure one membrane bi amal nañ leen bépp xeetu water tank tàmbalee ko ci 500 litres 5000 ba ci 1000 litres ak plumbing fittings kon nag mbokk yi bu ngeen buggee naan ndex yu sell te wóor seeti leen one stop water solution limited suñu màkkaan bu mag baa nga foofa ca Sukuta highway Mariama Kunda Johnson wala nga call ñu ci 505 5691 796 8272 one stop water solution limited ndox mu set mooy yàggal dund ni doomu.
You're watching QTV this morning, and I am Jenna Musonko here with my amazing co-host.
It's the hand part of the style.
The hand or the hand? Yeah, hanga gram buba dang ko di mo na yung side.
Xam nga mom so ko bugé dang ko sor rek nga sani ko side.
Su la nexe mo ko def mu straight, su la nexe mo nga ko yubu.
Wa man sa I prefer the
side.
Hand bi muy wengelu nu. Wow.
Okay.
I prefer.
You can bring one for him. He can wear it.
Yeah.
Every person and what you like. This is what I love.
So you love it this way?
I love it that way.
Okay, why do you just casual clothing?
Why?
Also
Because of Ramadan, let's put it up. After Ramadan, you know, maybe
too late now.
Wow, why belegi mangi decent?
It's too late.
Wow. Mangi decent, mashallah.
Well,
Di just
right.
casual clothing ta moma yoni, mune ma sole ko ni. Te xam nga ñom ñoma solal, ñomat fi tek ma tok. Ndax du?
Baax na ñom la.
Wa baax na jeex na.
All right, thank you.
Welcome to the program, Mr. Day.
Yeah, pleasure as always.
Yeah.
Always here on a Monday now it seems. So yeah, I'm becoming a regular feature.
Seems like it. And yeah, weekend well spent.
What weekend? You mean Sunday?
Oh, Sunday well spent.
I rested, I relaxed, I watched a couple of documentaries. I've been watching lots of documentaries about coup d'etats across Africa over the years.
Okay.
Because I might be doing an article about it.
Okay.
Particularly as we seem to be having them again in West Africa. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that's. Yeah.
Weekend well spent. Sunday.
Yeah. The shop, the house, the bed.
The shop that has the bed. Okay, I had a day off on Saturday, so I really rested well and read a little bit yesterday.
Okay.
I have this assignment on if the UN Security Council is, you know, fulfilling its responsibility of maintaining peace and security. And, you know, we're given the option of either saying yes or no, but I chose to say no, you know, based on...
I think many people would choose to say no.
Based on several reasons, you know, and they are justifiable anyway to say. Yeah. So moving on, just quickly, we can delve into a proverb.
Sure.
So I have here... Oh, anyway,
no, we don't have a proverb.
Until and unless you want me to provide one.
Man dama waru sa fu ma nekk dama chang man.
Yeah.
Teres will not allow me to go there.
Anyway, unfortunately, I'm just informed that we cannot discuss a proverb.
We haven't got time.
Yeah, because probably due to time constraint, 4 minutes past 10.
Sure.
So yeah, we'll delve into the newspapers.
Sure. Do you want to kick off?
Oh, the paper.
Please, yeah, the newspapers.
All right, this is
be with us. Be with us.
This is the Point newspaper. Victims Center opposes nomination of FTJ, Sidinjai, and of course the Point to monitor German trial on by law. Audit reports unveils lack of transparency for 22.5 million spent by OP. Gambia Armed Forces conducts border patrol with journalists in Fonyi. Gambia under 16 girls denied visa for Luxembourg tournament.
Oh, that's a shame. Well, on Foroya, we have a story which is repeated there, which is Victim Center dissatisfied with nomination election of Jatta and Njai. And to the right, it says, woman asks IEC to investigate Tumanjai's dual nationality claim, which is interesting. And it gets Pura to deny tanker trucks access, I love this, to depot if. And then you have to go inside to find out what the if is.
Yeah.
Governor Sedikan urges for integrated approach in building climate resilience. In the center, interesting story, Gambian civilian captured by Senegalese forces in Casamance is yet to be released.
Yeah.
And then on the left, a story which will rumble on because last week the National Audit Office were very critical. The health minister has rebutted, and it says he refutes COVID-19 audit report allegations. He claims, which mentioned this withdrawal of $669 million without approval. I'll repeat that figure: $669 million
in 2017.
in what is alleged, and then to go abroad. Zelensky opens door for diplomatic solution. If you've been on Mars, Zelensky is the president of Ukraine.
669 million.
669 million.
I'm only looking for 1 million. Only 1 million.
All right.
My problems are settled.
So that's
Jay,
it.
what's up?
That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
How much are you looking for?
Man, walk
So
yeah.
So yeah.
I think you missed the headline.
No.
You missed one.
Which one?
Did you read the one on the victim center asking?
That's what I started with.
Oh, you did? Okay, I was.
Pay
absent.
attention.
Yeah, I was.
I started by saying
But
it's
with-
the same
it's
story
the same, yeah. Okay, I
as
think
there.
I think I'm
Victim
absent.
Center dissatisfied
Yeah.
with nomination election of Jatta and Njai. I wanted to delve into the one which says a woman asks IEC to investigate Tumanjai's dual nationality claim.
Right.
The reason why I say this is because several reasons. We have this push and pull in many countries in West Africa where the law says you can be a dual national with full rights, and then it says, but you can't be a member of the parliament or the National Assembly, and you can't be a minister, which then means you don't have full rights. So it's an interesting one. And on Wednesday at UTG, there's going to be a talk by Dr. Robtel Paley.
Right.
She's written a book about exactly that, and she references the Gambia, Sierra Leone, Ghana, Nigeria, and Liberia. She's from Liberia, and how that is impacting the political scene. I don't know what you guys think about people who are dual nationals being in the parliament or the National Assembly. What's your take on it?
For me, I think you should decide. You know, you have to decide on where you want to see yourself. It's just like football, where when you start to play for a specific country,
National team.
national team, you have to choose. You can't play for two countries
Sure.
because it's conflict of interest. So if you are in Gambian parliament or a minister in a particular country, then what if a situation arises where it involves diplomatic issues that has to do with both countries? Then where do you see yourself? So you have to decide to avoid conflict of interest. In as much as Gambia is small, but at the end of the day, you never know which country we might have any form of clash with or any form of disagreement.
Mr. Balde, what's your take?
Well, for me, my
Footballers
own
do
point,
have dual citizenship, but when they're playing for you're playing for Gambia, you can't go play for Argentina
That's
at the
true.
same time.
That's
you
true.
have dual, but you're playing for one.
Yes,
That's what I
yes.
mean.
Yes.
One
No, no, no,
specific
well,
country. Yeah.
if at all, I mean, it is true that Tumanjai is having a dual citizenship.
Yeah.
My question is, I mean, what I'm thinking, didn't Tuma know that she would be vying for the position of the National Assembly in the Gambia? Because it is stated that, I mean, they should not run for office, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So what about, is it that she doesn't know, I mean, this will happen? Or does it come as an
Of course, it's just an allegation at the moment, yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
if
I
at all
mean,
it's true.
Yeah, I mean, this case was tested in Sierra Leone where Kande Yumkela was running for the presidency, and it was alleged that he had dual citizenship. And taking what Jennifer says, what the law says there is that you can give up one.
Yeah.
you can give up the other one. So if he had American citizenship, which I think he had, he could give that up.
Right.
So, however, the case went all the way to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said that actually the Constitution is kind of at war with itself, because it can't say that you can be a dual citizen and then it denies you the rights of being a dual citizenship. It's fakery then, you know,
Right.
it's not real, because why say people can be dual citizen, but then you can't be a full citizen because you can't do this, you can't do that, then you're not a full citizen. And he won the case, actually. Jung Keller won the case. So as I said, people go to UTG this way, they'll have a very good lecture by
Conversation.
Dr. Paley talking about it. But yeah, I just thought, I just wanted to get your views on it. really.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So what do you think now, if at all this allegation is true? What do you think will
I suspect
happen to her?
I suspect it will go to court,
Yeah.
because, like I said in the Sierra Leone case, you can't have a constitution saying you can be a dual citizen, and then it denies you the rights of citizenship. Then it's not allowing you to be a dual citizen, is it?
It's just a name.
It's just pretending to allow you to be a dual citizen. Because if it says, oh, you can be a dual citizenship, but you can't do this, you can't do that, then, hey, you know, you can't be. So there are people who are even more disadvantaged. In Sierra Leone, we have a line in the constitution which says that you have to be of, it used to say pure Negro
Wow.
blood. Now it says pure African blood. So all the Lebanese and the Indians who've been in Sierra Leone since 1890s, and their grandparents and grandparents, and they were born there, they can't stand for office in Sierra Leone because it's anti-religious. It wasn't always in the constitution. It was inserted 1 year after independence. Somebody challenged it. It went all the way to the Privy Council in London because we weren't then a republic, and that person won, and so it had to be taken out. However, when we became a republic, they inserted it because then you can't go to the Privy Council. You can only take it to the Supreme Court in Sierra Leone, and they weren't going to find. So there are people who are even more disadvantaged. They are citizens by every other means, but they're not full citizens because they can't stand for office. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That
So
is. But how about Victim Center dissatisfied with nomination?
Yeah, I mean, this one is rumbling, and we're hoping to hear
They're
from...
asking for their resignation.
Yeah, we're hoping to hear from both of them today. One of our colleagues has gone to interview them to get their side of it, because, as has been said, yes, they served in the government of, Yahya Jammeh, but neither of them were adversely mentioned by the TRRC. So, with that said, perhaps they should be. So that's one argument.
Yeah,
And
but
so
another
because-
argument on the table is the fact that they felt the impasse. They were there
No,
to
it's-
say
well-
he shouldn't step down.
Not only that, Jatta is still saying that.
Exactly. He's still saying that
still
saying
President
Well,
Adam
it's-
Barrow's
it's-
Mr. Ade,
election was illegitimate.
yeah,
He
I
said it was manipulated.
I
Yeah.
think people will miss the point. I mean,
Hmm.
if it is said, I mean, none of them were mentioned at the TRRC or any other commission. But I mean, when you talk about Yahya Jammeh, the mental picture that comes to your mind, it's Sidi Njie and Fabakary Tombong Jatta.
Yes. I'm not saying not mentioned, not adversely mentioned.
Right.
Nothing negative was said about them during that. And that was quite an extensive commission. And Gambia is a small country. Those who have been defending them have said that what you're doing is you're calling on people who've had a lot of experience of the political process, although, as we've seen from this objection, it's contentious because they did serve. I mean, I think Fabakary served for 20 years, and I think CD for 14. So it's not like they were only there for 1 year or 1 week. It's quite extensive, and that government is severely tainted in most people's eyes. So it's their right to raise their objections. They're entitled to, and these people likely will hear how they defend what's been said about them. As said, other people have already started defending them anyway. Yeah.
Any interesting headlines there? On
Oh.
that point?
Okay, let's talk about the Gambia under-16 girls denied visa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Gambia has a tradition, as does Sierra Leone, of athletes absconding when they go to foreign countries. And we've always said it, that when they do that, others then pay the penalty for it. There was in Finland in, gosh, I can't remember how many years ago now, 15, 16 years ago, under 17 competition that Sierra Leone took part in and did quite well. They got as far as the semi-final, I think. Of the squad of 24, I think only 3 went back home.
Wow.
Seriously, I'm not kidding. Some of them
bad.
have actually ended up playing for Finland national team. But yeah, only 3 went back home. One of them, I guess he had to go back because his father was the Minister of Sports, so it would have been really bad if he'd stayed. But that sort of thing then rebounds on future generations, and it's not been any different for the Gambia. Many athletes have gone abroad for tournaments supposedly and have ended up not coming
Mr.
home.
Ade, for what I think this thing have to do with the motivation too in the country. I think if our footballers are well motivated, they are given what they are supposed to be given in the country.
You mean footballers? You mean athletes?
Athletes, yes.
So Gambia is too small to have a fully functioning professional league. So if you're talking about footballers, nobody is going to say, I'm going to make a career playing football in the Gambia as a full-time thing. You know, they're not getting paid as much as, you know, they don't get the crowds. There's not there just is not that amount of money in football in the Gambia. So it's not just footballers, it's athletes generally. In fact, it's just people generally. I mean, COP26, some people went for that. They weren't athletes, they weren't footballers, and they didn't come back. You know, and so these things, you know, these countries who can give visas, they look at these things, and it impacts on those who come after them, sadly, you know, and they suffer.
So what about if we are to be left in our country, we are not given visas to go out? How are we going to improve ourselves? How are we going to interact with people? We have the latest way of doing things outside.
It's a catch-22, and sad to say, and this is not particularly controversial, Gambia has a particularly bad reputation. This whole thing about back way, the number of people who leave for the Gambia to try and make it to Europe is disproportionate for its size. There is no logic that says more people from Gambia could try and make this journey than Senegal, Guinea, Mali, Sierra Leone, Guinea-Bissau. These countries are several times bigger than Gambia, and yet Gambia contributes more people making that journey. There's no logic to it. And so people suffer for it because Gambia has that reputation. And so the ones you're asking who are giving visa, they don't care. So what if you have to stay in your country? Big deal, stay in your country. You know, but that something has to change. And until that something changes, where people aren't making these dangerous journeys, or people who go don't abscond, they come back, until that changes, it will always impact on those who come after them, sadly.
Well, maybe the system is biting us very well in the Gambia. That's why most of them are embarking on it. I'm not saying back way is the right way, but the system here is really dealing with the youths. That's why they're embarking. I spoke to one of my friends day before yesterday for 1 hour. He said to me, boy, here in Stuttgart, even if you don't work, at the end of the month, they'll put money in your account. Of course. Equivalent to someone working and they're paying you a month in Gambia.
Yeah, but you know, I always try and refute that statement about the system biting the youths. I'll give you an example. When they had the diaspora event at the Sadada Jawara thing, I went to interview the young entrepreneurs who were there, and I noticed that all 14 of them were women. And I thought, oh, why is this? Is it only women that were part of the scheme that gave them funding? And they said no, there were 21 of us, 7 men. 3 of them took the money that were meant to do their business and absconded. They used it to go on this back way. So the women didn't. So when I hear this, I totally reject it. Some of them don't even try. The women persevered. Some of them are still working from their homes, but they have a business. Some of them have even graduated their business to now they've opened shops or they're renting premises. None of the men on that course decided to stay the course. They thought, oh, you give us the money to start a business, I'll take it and I'll flee the country. So I don't entertain that. It's rubbish. I'm sorry. You know, I hear it all the time. Some people don't even try. They don't even try. Why did the women stay? You know, and of course it's disproportionately men who make that journey anyway. You know, so yeah, when anybody tells you that, tell them, don't listen to them. Tell them, I'm not hearing you, you know, because other people have tried. And there are examples like the one I've just given you. There are several like that, where people are given the funds to start a business. They don't start a business, they take it and they go and pay some dodgy agent who tries to get them across the Sahara or across the Mediterranean.
Mr. Ade, how about if you are given funds to open, to at least invest in a business, and at the end of the time the business doesn't flow? I mean, the income, I mean, your return is very slow. And you think, okay, now when I pay a person, I am crossing. I'm not saying it's good, and it's going to be easy for me in coming years.
Listen, pay attention to your business, plan it properly, make sure you know who your market is, who your customers are. Some of the women that we spoke to, they have tailoring businesses. They started just by themselves. Now they earn money. They've employed more people. You know, stick with it. Well, people want instant success. You want to be given the money for the loan to start your business today, and you want to be making a profit tomorrow. They've got no patience. They always think the shortest cut is, I'm going to pay some guy, I'm going to go to Spain and clean toilets because I'll make money that way, and I'll send money for my relatives. So, and of course the pressure is everybody knows somebody who's gone and is sending money for his or her relatives. So if you don't go, they're like, what's wrong with you? You know, so there's kind of disproportionate amount of pressure. And I have to say, since I come to the Gambia, I've seen it more intense here than anywhere else. It's not that it's unique to the Gambia. You go to Cape Verde, there are more Cape Verdeans living outside than inside the country.
Right.
You know, and yet the country doesn't particularly suffer for it. And somebody from Cape Verde, if they wanted a visa, they'll get it.
Right.
Because they do have a reputation of coming back when they get those kind of visas. So, like I said, people suffer because of the actions of others.
Yeah. So I think time is up. That is all we have
Dang.
time for. So up next on social issues, we'll be looking at curbing the road accident menace, the responsibility of the police, the driver, the passenger, and the pedestrian.
Everybody.
So everyone's collective responsibility. And we'll be joined by Omar Cisse, President, Gambia Transport Union, as well as Lamin Jai, PRO, Gambia Police Force. We'll be right back.
QCell's Q Prayer and Q Ramadan service reminds you of your 5 daily prayer times and the start and end times for your fast. Simply send prayer to 331 to be reminded of the 5 daily prayer times. Send Ramadan or fast to 332 to be notified of the start and iftar time of fasting on a daily basis. QCell wishes you all a blessed Ramadan. We innovate, others follow. Your favorite QCell service has gotten bigger. eFunkanta. Now you can loan bigger credit amounts to make life easier for you. Loan $75C and $100C and pay later. Yes, you heard me right. Get credit loan from $10C to $100C using eFunkanta by dialing *393#. Anytime you run out of credit, whether you want to buy Q Power, browse the internet, make urgent calls, or send SMS. eFunkanta is the service for you. Dial *393# and choose the loan amount of your choice with no hassle. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyabus, the pioneers of mobile loan service in the Gambia. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions. It's happy time. Get 50% off all calls to any network. Enjoy calls every day to any network from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Is it too good to be true? QCell. We innovate, others follow.
QCell's Q Prayer and Q Ramadan service. Bal kalamutandila la salwati lulola. Aning watu minebe sungodatila aning kate. Prayer key 331 prayer hakilo blandi la salwati lulola. Ramadan wala fast key 332 prayer hakilo blandi ibela sungodatila watu minna aning ibatela watu minna lungolung. QCell be duala liye sunkari nema ringna. Ndolla nga silo walang dolia bulan noma.
Apply. Your favorite QCell service has gotten bigger. eFunkanta. Now you can loan bigger credit amounts to make life easier for you. Loan $75 and $100 and pay later. Yes, you heard me right. Get credit loan from $10 to $100 using IFA by dialing *393#. Anytime you run out of credit, whether you want to buy Q-Power, browse the internet, make urgent calls, or send SMS. IFA is the service for you. Dial *393# and choose the loan amount of your choice with no hassle. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyabus, the pioneers of mobile loan service in the Gambia. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply. It's happy time. Get 50% off all calls to any network. Enjoy calls every day to any network from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Is it too good to be true? QCell. We innovate, others follow.
QCell's Q Prayer ak Q Ramadan service moo leen a fàttali watu juróomi julli ak watu bi ngeen a door ak dog seen or yónneel prayer si 331 pour nga xam watu juróomi julli yépp yónnee Ramadan bu dul loolu fast si 332 pour fàttali leen watu booy door ak dog sa or bés bu ne QCell di leen ñaanal weeri koori jàmm ñoo xaali yoon bi ñeneen toppa.
Your favorite QCell service has gotten bigger. eFunkanta. Now you can loan bigger credit amounts to make life easier for you. Loan $75 and $100 and pay later. Yes, you heard me right. Get credit loan from $10 to $100 using IFA by dialing *393#. Anytime you run out of credit, whether you want to buy Q-Power, browse the internet, make urgent calls, or send SMS. IFA is the service for you. Dial *393# and choose the loan amount of your choice with no hassle. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyabus, the pioneers of mobile loan service in the Gambia. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
From that break, if you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV this morning. And now on social issues, Ibrahima, we're taking a look at curbing road accidents. And can we do that? Anyway, that's the question.
Yeah.
Gambia is ranked 4th.
Well,
and taking a look at the responsibilities of the police, the drivers themselves, the passengers, the pedestrian. You know, it's just some form of collective responsibility here.
Well, if you look at it recently, our roads are becoming
deadlier.
Trap to
They're already
everybody.
deadly, but deadlier.
Yes. Now, you don't even advise people to be using commercial vehicles to certain areas. I mean, because accidents are common. And we have the PRO and the president of the transport union here. They'll help us see what are their views when it comes to this. PRO, you are welcome.
Thanks for having
program.
us.
Mr.
Thank you so
Sise.
much.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, Jenna.
Yes, so Mr. Njai, like Balde rightly mentioned, what is your view of the current situation? Because things are getting worse daily.
Very well. The issue of road traffic accident is a very big concern to the Office of the Inspector General of Police. In fact, we've always said when it comes to the police strategic thinking, we have about 2 cardinal mandate that we have. That is one, the fight against crime, and the other thing is road safety. And so, which is why road safety is very important for us. And so, recently, the surge in road traffic accident is definitely a concern for the Office of the IGP, and that is why a lot of effort are being put into the enforcement of the Motor Traffic Act and regulations, but not only that, but also the Mobile Traffic Department to come up with new strategies as well to help in curbing the menace of road traffic accident. But all in all, it is not going to be just the Gambia Police Force. It's a multiple stakeholder issue, and so other partners and stakeholders also are being included in this drive. In fact, the whole of last week, the Gambia Police Force had spent meeting from one stakeholder to the other in order to deal with the, to kind of galvanize a collective effort in ensuring that road safety issues are being dealt with. Until Friday, we've been having meetings with series of stakeholders. Today, this morning too, we are also meeting with other departments that have a stake as far as road traffic issues are concerned, because we have seen to it that when it comes to road safety, the #1 department that people point at is the Gambia Police Force. So even though it is not only the Gambia Police Force that's a stakeholder in this, so it is important then for the police to mobilize the other stakeholders, and then we are able to have a collective effort in ensuring that the menace of road traffic accidents are being dealt with. These are all efforts that are ongoing. That's because of the fact that the issues are very concerning to the police force.
That's my question. Why now?
Why
very now when it's already bad? You know?
It's not now. What I would like to say is that when it comes to road traffic accidents, it's a whole holistic issue, and it's a process, it's an ongoing thing. We may not know if we can zero the issues of road traffic at all at any point in time. But we will continue stepping up with the efforts as we go on. But if you look at the trend recently, it has kind of taken a new dynamic. Almost on every day or 2 days basis, you hear some fatal accident, which is not just 1 or 2 persons, but sometimes 9 people, like the last one, which went up to 9 persons. And even before that one, there was another one that was also a way number of people. So this is something that is not just the public, but even the police as well too. Part of the public is also affected by these issues. So we feel that it is important that we've been having series of efforts, and enforcement have been going on, but it is high time also we step up these efforts to ensure that we deal with the new dynamics.
The moment Omar, don't you think the moment we were ranked 4th, you know, the moment we were ranked 4th, proper effort should have been put in place? Because the moment you are ranked 4th, it means you're heading somewhere.
Very well.
Right? So at the moment we were ranked 4th, didn't the Gambia Police Force and its stakeholders sense that things are going to get worse? Or did we come up with strategies to say next year we want to be 100 instead of 4th? Did that happen when that particular WHO World Rankings came out?
Very well. You know, like I said to you, issues about road traffic accidents cuts across. It's a whole societal phenomenon. It's not just Gambia Police Force saying, okay, we are 4th now, we want to take us to 100. If at all it was just an institutional issue, the Gambia Police Force would easily do that. In fact, if you look at the traffic accidents, some of the victims are direct families of police officers. One of the accidents that took place in Nyomi, we have our own officer whose wife and child all passed away in that accident. So we also have another officer whose wife also was also part of that accident as a victim that died as well. So it affects us directly. So it's not just a single institution's issue. It's a whole societal issue, which is why I felt that it may not necessarily be the Gambia Police Force ticking the dot and say, let's move from 4 to 100. But it is the Gambia as a country, a society and a people. We are all supposed to understand that this is a problem, and we all have to raise the conversations, the media, the police, the driver population, the public itself. Everybody else need to put efforts together so that we are able to bring the issue of accident down. In fact, I want to comment some 1 or 2 organizations that came to us recently and said they are coming all out to also add their voice and support in ensuring that there is a national conversation around the issue of road traffic accident. Well, you could say, okay, like you have said, why now? But also, why now also? These are efforts that are supposed to be going on over and over, but it's a good thing also if we have people getting concerned now and coming up. Perhaps with those kind of efforts, we should be able to bring the issues of road traffic.
Before Omar, Mr. Njai, don't you think the process is very slow? I mean, the last time I checked, like a few years ago, we were ranked 8.
Very well.
Then now we are ranked 4.
Very well.
You know, don't you think before you put all these things together to help fight this, I mean, we'll be going to a very dangerous red zone?
we are already at a dangerous red zone because you already mentioned that we were 8 and we are 4. What we are calling for is a national effort. Let's all work together as a country, as a people. Like I said to you, everybody have a stake in this. Thanks to QTV today for bringing a conversation like this on the TV, so that this also is an effort towards sensitizing the public about what is going on surrounding road traffic accidents. It's not supposed to be only QTV, it's supposed to be all other media houses as well, but not only that, but even individuals, road users of all types, whether they are pedestrians, they are cyclists, or they are people who are passengers, because if you look at road traffic accidents, everybody have a stake in it. So it has to be a national discourse so that we are able to all put our efforts together and move ourselves from 4 to 100, because it is all of us who are in this boat together. So if we sink, we are sinking together.
So
it's not supposed to be a person.
Mr. Cisse here as well, you know, being president of the Gambia Transport Union, there's some, there's some responsibility on the union as well when it comes to advocacy, when it comes to road traffic safety, when it comes to your drivers, you know. So what has been done? What are some of the efforts that you've been putting in place to ensure that drivers also do the right thing?
Thank you, Geneva. I think this is a concern for every individual as far as road traffic accident is concerned. We are all victims on this. As far as the union level is concerned, we are doing advocacy. We are going garage by garage, or social media platforms. So discussing them, because most of these accidents is caused by human errors. Like you need attitudinal change on these subject matters, because average of accident caused by overspeeding. Overspeeding, I think, is a crime according to the Motor Traffic Act. For that being the case, we are urging the drivers to respect the motor traffic code and traffic signs. This is very important here. But at the same time, passengers also have big, responsibility to play. Because if you are in vehicle, you see drivers behaving something like, you need to voice out so they can protect your own life. But in this scenario, I've been seeing passengers prefer to join vehicle who are driving faster than other vehicles who have respect traffic codes. So that's what I encourage in here. So vehicle to run fast. So go to the Brikama garage, go to the Serakunda garage, go to the Bundu garage. Passengers prefer to use those vehicles who drive themselves from here to Basi or Shoma. So end of the day, we all see now most of the average vehicle use Trans-Gambia Highway due to entering into North Bank Senegal is fastest way. So the traffic is very busy now, and at the same time the road is very sharp, too much of bends. I think we need proper concentration, but I think not only the police, but we all need to advocate it. Especially passengers, because police are not everywhere. We are not everywhere, but any vehicle passenger on board. So advocate, if driver didn't, want to respect the traffic code, report about the guy at the police station. The police take action against it. But we say drivers are driving just like that. We feel it's not the end of the day. People started shouting. I think we all failed, no matter what. So we all need to come out again to do stuff, because as the way Pierre said, the road safety is stakeholder issue. It's not only police.
Right.
The NRA is a key stakeholder here. The ministry, even the operators, the drivers. But as of now, we need to take the new dynamic. And the same time you have been saying here, political will, it has been lacking. The road safety is very costly. Yeah, like for example, enforcement. If police want to do the proper check-in, do you have the equipment to do that? They are just as a human being, but a lot of equipment are not with the police. Like for example, I visited the last accident at Fonyi. Even sometimes the mobility is a concern for the police. So how can you do that, man? No, I don't believe to have this police checkpoint. We need to have a patrol team, the mobile patrol team, motor bicycle vehicles, so that they can monitor the way drivers have been moving. But this goods, things are not there. They cannot do their work properly. So before drivers are reaching at the police checkpoint, they will minimize their speed. After moving on, they will continue to do what they are doing.
Mr. CJ, after the accident in Fonyi recently, I had people blaming the quality of roads as well. Is that the case? Is that true? I mean, the quality of road can also lead to certain accidents.
It's part of it, but it's not the key here. Because the last accident happened at the South Bend. No, according to the Motor Traffic Act or Motor Traffic Code, the sharp bend always you need to be, minimize your speed because it's a bend, it's very sharp. And at the same time, you are approaching the bridge or you are getting out of it. So in that moment, according to the code, you need to minimize your speed up to 30 km per hour, 25 km per hour. So in that case, that situation is not going to happen. But if you see the knocked, that means the two vehicles are running at high speed. And therefore, you are approaching the village and it's a sharp bend. So that means overspeed is contributing a lot.
Okay. So I want to ask PRO, research, are you trying to utilize the issue of research as well? To when these accidents happen, do you have a team there that is responsible for gathering the facts and research to an extent that you can come up with a study to find out really where the problem is, what needs to be done? Because everybody is assuming, and it's not a good thing.
And our people are dying every day.
And our views are not structured because we are not guided. Some people will say it's the quality of the road. Some people will say speeding. We do not know. What is the percentage? Are you working towards that?
Well, you know, every time accidents happen, as far as we are concerned, the Gambia Police Force, we launch an accident investigation into all accidents. And at the end of the day, these accident investigations are accompanied with reports. Reports emerge out of the accident investigation as to what has been gathered from the investigation. To some extent, investigation reports also are research as well. So obviously, we can tell that every accident that happens within the country, the police document, they investigate, and cause of accidents are being established. This is why we know these issues you are mentioning, as far as accidents are concerned, you cannot just say this is the only reason why accidents are caused. There are different factors that results to accident, which is obviously, that's the principle really, because you will realize that everywhere you go to, several reasons might be the cause of a particular accident. But to tell the public of the Gambia especially, majority, great percentage of accidents that happen in the Gambia is as a result of the human factor, which is the speeding aspect of it. Speeding is the real reason for accidents that are happening in this country. Imagine, for example, people who say, a lot of people go to these sprinter vans that they say they can run from here to Bansang within a period of time, or from here, from Combo to Basse within a period of time. And so people are so used to these sprinter vans that they can even negotiate with the driver as to what time, where I would be, so you can pick me up from there, because they want to get to their destinations fast. If they are used to that kind of situation, obviously it will be that they will run those distances within a period of time which is really not the actual necessary speed that that driver is supposed to be on the road. And so that is really contributing to majority of the accidents here. Say, for example, the accident that occurs at Fonyi, the one where you have about 9 people died. From our accident investigation, it shows that there was an animal that wanted to cross the road, and this other one swerved to avoid the animal, the other one swerved to avoid the animal, and they ended up colliding. So you will realize that under normal circumstance, these people could even have stopped, allow the animal to cross, and then they all go their way, without just randomly swerving to the other side and the other side. So you will realize that these are the difficult aspects of our own situation, even though we know there are several factors that cause accident. But I tell you, it's a known fact in the Gambia that speeding is the cause, research-based, as far as we are concerned, because our research is the investigations that we do, and as far as our data are concerned, speeding is the main cause of accidents in this country. And so long we are still able to continue allowing our drivers to continue speeding, it will be difficult for us to contain the minutes. I tell people all the time, for example, passengers that are in the vehicle, they have a great stake. If a driver is speeding at a certain extent, you have to tell the driver. And you know, the funny thing that happens is, most of the time is the same people that are quarreling among themselves. You say to the driver, reduce the speed because you're driving at a danger. The other one say, oh, you know, you get them singing. In fact, if you threaten the driver that if I get to the nearest police, I will report, they say you now want to waste all of our time. If you know you are not you have to have a yakam tiulo, you watch al rengamay you them paske.
Why watch al?
Mr. Njai,
Gambia as a country.
We have a problem.
Has a problem.
You see, I know of a driver. Binga hamne dafla jele jara soma 4, mu aga fi bori 9, mu load that modelu jara soma. I know all that.
Yes.
Wow. Why? People are talking about this, da ngaa gis ne 5 years ago, accident yi comme nu mu bëree this year. like at yi bëreewut noonu. ñu bëri ñu ngi ko blame si checkpoints yi nga xam ne ñu ngi ko amoon. like maybe 6-7 years ago. waaw di nga gis ne ñu ngi amoon different checkpoint da ngaa dem checkpoint sax da ngaa taxaw ba nga mer. si yoon bi. ñu ne time boobu noonu loolu moo taxoon accident yaa ngi wàññi because soo dawee da ngaa fekk checkpoint si kanam. soo fa lifinee dañ laa paak. so foog nga ne loolu. more contribute on si loolu.
Wow, contribute na because so xoolee checkpoint yi they were serving different functions. The checkpoints they were conducting search and things like that, but also ultimately it served as a speed hump kind of like that they reduce speedy driver. So that way tuuti rek nga xam ne checkpoint dang foog nga reduce sa tànka bi. So di nga gis ne loolu distance bu ñoo daw ak speed bu ñoo daw duñ ko mun a daw waaye the public of the Gambia came out and clamored that these checkpoints waste our time, they waste, the police are there, they just collect money from drivers, they don't do anything. And so it became a very big public outcry here. And so eventually it's like, okay, authorities also have to act on this to ensure that, okay, since people's desire is to have checkpoints reduced on our roads, then we could reduce the checkpoints. But one thing that the Gambia Police Force have discovered also is the fact that this was an issue. Now, what we wanted to do now as a strategy is to put traffic observers now. Instead of the checkpoints, we will put police officers that will now be there observing the speeds now. Now, what we have decided so far, in fact, we are about to implement, is to have every 2 kilometers or so, we'll have traffic observers on the sides of the road, not on the road, because it is on the road that people have a problem with in terms of that they wasting time, you know. But if we have traffic observers on the road, their job will be to monitor the speed and also be able to pursue any vehicle that is dangerously speeding on the road, because these are going to be they will be fitted with motorcycles. Obviously, that will help them to be able to pursue any driver that is speeding dangerously on our road, because we have seen that the speeding aspect is definitely a problem on our road. Not only that, we are also bringing in the National Road Authority also to come in as a stakeholder as well. Where necessary, they should be able to put speed humps on those areas so that those speed humps will serve as natural ways of reducing drivers' speed as they go on the road.
Yes, let's go back to Mr. Cisse.
Let's talk about the issue of the insurance, because I saw you alleging that insurance companies really are scammers. That's what she said. You know, you said that publicly.
You made a whole lot of noise in this country.
Yeah, so I want to know.
Insurance companies were talking about this.
So I want to know, what do you mean? We want to understand on the spot, what do you mean by insurance companies are scammers?
Thank you, Geneva. I think the purpose of accident, that's why insurance came in.
Okay.
Just to take responsibility for certain damages.
Right.
We cannot say all, but some of them are scammers.
Okay.
On our record.
Okay.
I keep saying this because insurance is a contract between the two parties. The 11 insurance company in this country don't owned by the government, owned by private individuals.
Right.
So people pay their premium so that they can take their liabilities. But if accident occur, what is the responsibility of the insurance? Just to compensate those victims.
Right.
Is it happening? I would say no. 0.0. How many vehicles we have in our roads? How many victims in road traffic accidents?
Okay.
How many people lost their life? How many insurance companies, can you come out of 12 people in the public? How many people are being compensated?
Okay.
Not all those vehicles have a valid insurance. Because why police are enforcing the insurance is the passenger on board is a is part of insurance cover. Like the average of vehicle here, especially commercial transport, took third-party insurance.
Okay.
Third-party insurance, the vehicle is not covered.
Okay.
The driver is not covered, but the passenger on board, they are covered.
Right.
So any accidents, as far as the claim is concerned, the passenger needs to be compensated, even if he loses his life. But now, what is the case? The first of all, it's a contract. The contract needs to be determined. What is terms and conditions? But that's not happening.
Yeah, but the thing is, you know, nini, so you have accident, they them report to the
insurance company. People are frustrated.
Is it frustration or lack of understanding?
No, what I mean is, they fall in them. So
insurance issue be the them.
So that's why we can't put people to understand what is the responsibility of the insurance. Do Halis Ngur. It's different with road tax, you know, duties. It's different. This is private insurance. Dinga denkane. It's a denkane. da nga dénkaane sa xaalis to the insurance company in case of damage accident. But first of all, what's supposed to be is if you insure it, they're supposed to give you terms and conditions. What is my responsibility as a vehicle owner?
waaye ñu ne borom moto yi seen boppa nekkuñ di take seen responsibility laaj ma si naka xam nga si naka ñu ne da ngaa toog at the comfort of your home call pour nga am insurance benn agent daw la rek jox la insurance bi sa moto bi duñ ko seet pour xool sa moto bi fan ban level la war a àgga lan lañ si mun a def ndax moto bi si boppam is road worthy ak yooyu ñu loolu yëpp seet
no, this is very important. If insurance doo bëgg na jël the responsibility waaye mu ngi jël insurance mu ngi insure is not a compulsory. But let me clear this. Like the government we want people to advocate this because every individual has a right. Vehicle owner have a hamun because can you get sahalis they could need buglos return. But then hamut. Okay, let's use your platform for you hamko.
Okay.
Come insurance and denkanela. Ala bomb and go denkane. In terms of damages, accidentally, these need to come out for you to compensate with victims. Wow. Because the police, what they are doing, like if accident occur, they will charge driver for that crime is committed, like careless, reckless, dangerous. But the compensation aspect is civil matters. So now, last year, 2021, how many people they are lost their lives, lost road accidents? How many people have injury? How many properties have been damaged? But this all vehicle problem, we can say 0% have been compensated. So now, insurance is collecting millions of millions daily basis from people, from poor people. They are not coming back to us. So that's why we are calling the central government, especially the central bank, as a regulatory body. Because this is not an easy tax. You know, people are losing their life, people having permanent injury, people are hospitals struggling their bills. No insurance company have that money for them. So this is really people need to know. Because we feel...
So, da nga bëgg a wax ne insurance company yi ñoom duñ dee explainal nit ñi.
Musuñ ko dégg.
Lan lañ.
Musuñ ko dégg.
Déedéet man aw ma moto.
Ba war nga ko dégg yaay media.
Déedéet waaye xam nga aw ma moto man su ma dégg laay wax.
Aw advocate police yi foofu di ara police bu ngi fii di wax ni li war a nit ñi war a def.
Waaw.
But why they cannot come people.
So ñoom génn ñu wax nit ñi daal lan mooy njëriñ ñi
dafa am ñu ne am na driver yoo xam ne dañoo dem rek pour out insurance cover.
Pour ñu tey ko fa
pour rek police yi suñu leen laaj ana sa insurance ñu jox leen ko rek ñu dem.
nit yi loolu leen fokk nit yi loolu leen jàpp dem foog ne insurance daal pour wan ko police yi la loolu la bëgg xamante ne this is not that it's different with that insurance mooy ne just to cover that passenger on board pour nit yi understand lu tax police yi ñu ngi ko enforce mooy ne moto bu nga ëpp mun naa am accident ñu soo am accident de passenger yooyu da war a am lu dem fay bu war a am moo tax police ñu ngi ko enforce as far as police are here to protect life and properties.
So léegi Mr. Ndiaye balaa ñoo dem time
so that's why one second we are calling
insurance.
IGP one thing let me clear this we are calling IGP so fake insurance they are not willing to pay the claim bu ñu enforce law the act and number two no settlement of claim no premium. No because the xaalis du nga ko join ni ñu ko saray
1,200 1,200
no hanga the minimum premium is $1,190 but loolu mooy daw but moto have to you know van taxi 2,000 plus lay fay 14 passengers 5,000 plus different capacity la
ñaata moto lañ am si dëkk bi
Las Banjul alone is almost 200,000 now.
Waaw mu léegi balaa time di jeex
because it's 10,000 vehicles
mu ne he's calling on the IGP insurance company yi suñ defut lu leen war yéen bu leen
very well ñun we have an enforcement responsibility as far as the insurance is concerned and so that's what we do we ensure that all vehicles are supposed by law they are supposed to have insurance.
Why yéen mënu leen a regulate insurance companies. Loolu du seen mandate.
That's not our mandate. But we ensure that enforcement is done. And that's why any vehicle that is plying on our roads must have insurance, such that if you don't have insurance, the police can park you, and that's a chargeable offense on the Motor Traffic Act and regulation. Why, when it comes to the issue of regulation and what is the kind of insurance the driver takes, also that's purely the insurance companies and the driver population to deal with that.
Wow.
Really.
Okay, bala ñoo dem. Mr. Njie, I'll just take you back to our interview, road clearing. Man ba léegi maa ngi particular si boobu noonu. ñëwoon nga fi toog nga fi National Road Authority tam toog nañ fi ba léegi maa ngi gis pile of gravel maa ngi gis moto yu bon maa ngi gis ñu ngi ko park si suñu yoon yi te amoon na time da ngeen si sawaroon de xam nga lii lañ dee wax si police force da ngeen dee jóg ngeen sawar first day bi first week bi waaye su demee ba si digga ngeen bàyyi.
Well, you know, President Transport, you know, Mungini, he was part of the task force, but the clearing of the road. Why, when we approach the political era, it was a time when movements are too much at that time. So it will be difficult for us also to be on the road and doing, because the way we do that clearance, dafa am doole. Dafa nga am heavy machine yi si kaw yoon yi ak yooyu. So ñu jógee si election bi, presidential election bi, ñu dugga si parliamentary election bi. In fact, if you've been following, the National Road Authority has even been giving a press release to start the clearing. But all we have to do now, especially, is we are too invested in the issue of road traffic accidents right now.
Waaw waaye
So
gravel yooyu mun naa
as
contribute
we-
to road
as
traffic
we-
accident ba
as we
pare
deal with the-
nit mun naa toog sa ne government bi la de xëj na dañ wax ne ñu bàyyi clearing bi because dina am ñoo xam ne dinañ mer te
No,
time
clearance
election
bi dina ñëw. Loolu
déedéet
kay
man
is
danga
part
ne
and parcel of
xam
the
nga danga ne
operations.
da ngeen stop the entire process
exercise
parce que
bi, yeah.
exercise bi parce que movement bi dafa bari woon
exactly.
aussi politically
Very
waaye ku toog fële na la tam mun naa wax ne soo gisee ngeen stop loolu noonu xëj na dina am ñoo xam ne electorates dañ te ñu ngi leen di clear te dinañ mer
am ñi nga xam ne génnee ngeen leen ba
Waaw.
pare bàyyi
ngeen
ñeneen.
nara di xam nga loolu tam it's not just
You know, the thing is,
Ndax
even
du-
dafa am ñoo xam ne génneñ leen te delloo nañ foofu waat. So dafa mel ni
kon dafa mel ni
public-
seen enforcement bi
No,
is
listen,
beyond
no, the
political
thing is,
movement
du loolu na public bi xam ne pour ñu génnee leen foofu noonu it's all geared towards ensuring that there is road safety te yoon yi ñu nekkal moo tax suñ leen génnee foofu waruñoo delloo foofu.
waaw waaye yow
Waaye
leerul
léegi
la
ñu ngi xaaral rek.
Waaw.
ñu ngi clear certain areas yi génnee nañ leen ba pare we are planning to clear other areas yéen mi ngi génnee foofu noonu yéen ngeen dellu foofu
Waaw,
noonu. Yéen xanaa yéen nekkul leen ni
waaye
yow
naka lañ
police
xamee
local
naka la ñoo xamee ne dafa dellu naka la ñoo ñun xamee ne
so loolu
naka la ñoo xamee ne yéen
dañu war a
kooluñ leen ne
dimbale.
leen bàyyi leen lii sax parce que élection a ngi on loolu
loolu yow yaa xalaat
man xaw ma de
yaa
damaa
ko
wax
wax
de
fii
because comme loo xam ne dafa am operations yoo xam ne boo ko xasee ba door mu affect certain people continue ndax
non waaye man dama believe leen
Non,
gis nga
listen.
tey suñ clé woon suñ yooni gannaaw yi
Very well.
abuko bi ba Churchilltown bi
Waaw.
suñ ko clé woon tey trafic bi du block
waaw waaye Ibrahima dafa mel ni time
Very
bi
well.
jeex na tax sa fi mu nekk nii waaye xam naa dinañ leen fi ooyaat su ko defee ngeen ñëwaat ñu mën a am beneen conversation waaye daal nit mun naa toog kiram daal ne political motivation bokk na si waaye my outfit is provided by D Just Casual Clothing. Please give them a call 325-8885 325-8885 till we come your way tomorrow with another interesting program. Bye bye.